The alien warrior stepped onto Earth and laughed. Carixa of the Velther Dominion had crossed many worlds. She had fought under burning suns and cold metal skies. She had crushed enemies twice her size. To her, planets were nothing more than battlefields with different colors. Earth was supposed to be easy. She stood tall at the landing zone, her silver armor shining under Earth's sun. Her people were taller, stronger, and born on worlds with light gravity. Carixa was one of their best warriors. Her muscles were dense. Her bones were reinforced by natural evolution and advanced training. She looked at the humans waiting for her. They were small, soft, fragile. Carixa laughed again. "So this is Earth," she said in her sharp alien voice. "This world made of weak flesh and weak ground." The human soldiers did not respond. They stood still, calm and alert. Their faces showed no fear. That surprised her a little, but she ignored it. Carixa had come for a simple reason. Her people believed humans were growing too confident. Stories had spread across the stars about Earth warriors defeating stronger species. The Velther Dominion wanted proof. So they sent Carixa a warrior trial. No weapons, no armor removal, just strength against the planet itself. She took her first step forward. Nothing happened. The ground felt solid, normal. She smirked. "Your gravity is weak," she said loudly. "I expected more." A human officer stepped forward. He was older, with calm eyes. "Earth's gravity doesn't look impressive," he said. "But it never stops." Carixa waved a hand. "Gravity is gravity. My people mastered it long ago." She took another step. Then another. With each step, something felt different. Not pain. Not yet. Pressure. A strange pull wrapped around her body, like invisible hands pressing down. Her armor suddenly felt heavier, as if someone had added unseen weight to every plate. Carixa frowned. She rolled her shoulders and kept walking. Her pride would not allow hesitation. The humans watched quietly. No mocking, no cheers. Just silence. After 10 steps, her breath changed. It was slower, deeper, harder. Her chest armor pressed against her lungs. Each breath demanded effort. Carixa had never struggled to breathe before. Not in battle, not under fire, not even when wounded. "This is nothing," she muttered. She took another step. The ground felt farther away, like lifting her leg through thick liquid. Her muscles worked harder, burning slightly. The feeling was unfamiliar. Carixa laughed again, but this time it sounded forced. "Is this your trick?" she asked. "Hidden machines? Fields?" The human officer shook his head. "This is just Earth." Carixa stopped walking. She planted her feet and straightened her back, trying to show dominance. But her body disagreed. Her spine felt compressed. Her neck muscles tightened. Even holding her head high required effort. Still, she smiled. "I was born on a warrior world," she said. "Your planet cannot touch me." She raised one armored foot and stamped it into the ground. The impact was strong, but the effort shocked. Her leg trembled, just for a moment. Carixa's eyes narrowed. She tried to shift her weight forward. Her knee bent slightly. She froze. That had never happened before. A warrior of the Velther did not bend unless she chose to. Carixa forced her leg straight again, her muscles screaming in protest. Heat spread through her thighs and back. Her heart beat faster, pushing blood harder through her body. The gravity did not attack. It simply waited. Carixa felt sweat form beneath her armor. Her breathing grew louder. Each breath felt like lifting a heavy stone from her chest. She took one more step. Her vision blurred for half a second. The ground did not move, but she did. Her balance shifted. Her center dropped. Her pride screamed louder than her muscles. "No," she growled. She tried to stand taller. The pressure increased. Her knee bent again. This time, she could not stop it. The humans leaned forward slightly, not in threat, But attention. Carixa clenched her fists. Her teeth ground together. She would not fall. She would not kneel. But Earth did not care about pride. Gravity pressed down, steady and endless as it had for billions of years. Carixa's leg shook violently. Her other knee started to bend. Her laughter was gone. Only silence remained as the greatest warrior of the Velther Dominion fought something she could not strike, could not see, and could not defeat. And slowly, against her will, her body began to lower toward the ground. The ground did not move. The sky did not change. But Carixa was losing. The proud alien warrior was on one knee now. Her armored leg pressed deep into Earth's soil, leaving a clear mark behind. She stared at the ground in disbelief, her breathing loud inside her helmet. This had never happened before. On her home world, kneeling meant defeat. It meant surrender. It meant shame. And yet here she was. Earth had not struck her. Earth had not challenged her. Earth had simply existed. Carixa tried to rise. Her muscles obeyed her mind, but not her strength. The moment she pushed upward, the pressure increased. It felt like the planet noticed her effort and responded with quiet force. Her arms shook. Her shoulders burned. Her heart beat like a war drum. Carixa growled and forced air into her lungs. Each breath felt thick, heavy, as if the air itself had weight. This world cheats, she said through clenched teeth. The human soldiers did not move. They did not laugh. They did not attack. They did not even look proud. They simply watched. That confused her more than the gravity. Carixa planted one hand on the ground to push herself up. The soil was rough, real and solid. She felt its texture through her armored glove. Her hand trembled. The pressure moved through her arm, down her spine, and into her legs. Her body screamed warnings she had never heard before. Pain was not new. To her, this was different. This was her body reaching its limit. She forced herself up inch by inch. Her knee lifted slightly off the ground. For a brief moment, hope flashed through her mind. Then her strength failed. Her knee slammed back down. The sound echoed across the landing zone. Carixa froze. Silence followed. The human officer stepped forward slowly. His boots made soft sounds against the ground. He stopped several steps away, careful not to appear threatening. "You're fighting the wrong enemy," he said calmly. Carixa glared at him. Sweat rolled down her face beneath the helmet. Her pride burned hotter than her muscles. "There is no enemy," she snapped. "Only weakness." The officer shook his head. "Gravity doesn't care who you are." Carixa laughed bitterly. "Then I will break it." She tried again. This time, she used everything. Her legs pushed. Her back straightened. Her arms locked. Her breathing turned sharp and fast. Every fiber of her body worked together in one final effort. Her body rose. Slowly, pain exploded through her muscles. Her vision darkened at the edges. Her heartbeat thundered in her ears, but she stood for 1 second. Then, Earth answered. Her legs failed at the same time. Carixa dropped to both knees. The impact sent a shock through her body, straight into her bones. Her hands caught her fall. Just before her face hit the ground. She stayed there, kneeling, breathing, shaking. The greatest warrior of the Velther Dominion was no longer fighting. She was surviving. Carixa felt something crack inside her. Not bone, not armor. Pride. On her world, warriors were taught that strength came from dominance, from standing taller than others, from forcing the universe to bend. Earth did none of that. Earth did not bend. The human officer knelt down as well, matching her height. He did not touch her. He did not speak at first. Finally, Carixa broke the silence. "How?" she whispered, her voice low and strained. "Do you live like this?" The officer looked at her, then at the sky above. "We grow up here," he said. "Our bones form under this weight. Our muscles adapt. We fall. We stand. We fall again. Carixa listened, her breathing slowly calming. You train against your own world? She asked. The officer nodded. Every day. Me day. Re-day, breathing slowly calming. You train against your own world? She asked. The officer nodded. Every day. Carixa looked down at her shaking hands. She had trained for war. She had trained for enemies. She had never trained for gravity. For the first time in her life, Carixa felt small, not because humans were strong, but because Earth was stronger. She lowered her head, resting it against her armored chest. The ground felt cold beneath her, knees heavy. Honest. This planet did not promise victory. It promised pressure, and only those who endured it could stand tall. Carixa clenched her fists again, but this time, not in anger. In determination. She would not leave Earth like this. No one spoke. That was the most frightening part. Carixa expected laughter. She expected weapons to rise. She expected cameras, cheers, or shame. On any other world, a fallen warrior was either mocked or finished, but on Earth, there was only silence. She remained on her knees, her hands pressed into the dirt. Her armor felt like a mountain on her back. Each breath came slow and heavy, as if the air itself pushed against her lungs. The humans did not move. They stood in a loose line, watching her with calm eyes. Some looked curious. Some looked concerned. None looked proud. Carixa lifted her head. Her vision was still unsteady, but she forced herself to focus. She searched for weakness in their faces. She found none. That is it? She asked, her voice rough. You win and you say nothing? The human officer stepped forward again. He stopped at a respectful distance. There's nothing to win, he said. Carixa laughed quietly, a short and broken sound. Your world broke me. The officer shook his head. No, it tested you. Carixa looked down at the ground beneath her knees. The soil was dark and rough, simple, honest. It had not attacked her. It had not changed. It had always been this way. On her home world, gravity was light. Children learned to jump high before they learned to walk steady. Warriors trained to strike fast, not to endure weight. Earth was different. Earth demanded patience. Carixa tried to rise again, slowly. This time, she did not rush. She did not force it. She placed one foot flat on the ground and pushed carefully. Her leg shook. The pressure returned instantly, steady and unforgiving. She stopped and lowered herself back down. Her breathing slowed. For the first time, she accepted the weight instead of fighting it. The humans noticed. One of the soldiers took a small step forward, then stopped. He waited. The others followed his lead. No orders were spoken. No signals were given. They simply adapted. Carixa watched them through the edge of her vision. They do not fear me. She realized that thought struck deeper than the gravity on other worlds. Her presence alone had caused panic. Enemies trembled when she walked. Armies stepped back. Here, humans stood their ground, without lifting a weapon, not because they were stronger than her, but because they did not need to prove it. Carixa felt heat rise behind her eyes. She forced it down. Warriors of the Velthor did not show weakness, yet something inside her shifted. What happens now? She asked. The officer considered her words. Now? He said. Now you decide. Carixa frowned. Decide what? Whether you leave, he said, or whether you learn. The word echoed in her mind. Learn. No enemy had ever offered her that choice. Carixa placed both hands on the ground and pushed herself up just enough to sit back on her heels. Her legs screamed in protest, but she endured it. Humans watched closely, ready to move if she fell. She did not. Slowly, painfully, Carixa straightened her back while kneeling. Her spine trembled, but it held. A small victory. The humans noticed. Again, not with cheers, with nods. That simple gesture sent a strange feeling through her chest. Not pride. Not anger. Respect. Carixa exhaled deeply. You live under this weight every moment, she said. From birth. The officer nodded. Yes. And you do not hate your world for it? The officer smiled faintly. It shapes. U.S. Carixa closed her eyes for a moment. She imagined Velthor warriors training here. Falling, struggling, breaking, or changing. Her people believed strength came from power. Earth taught. Strength came from survival. Carixa opened her eyes. She placed one foot forward again. This time, she did not try to stand. She held the position. Her muscles burned. Her joints protested. But she stayed balanced, breathing slow and controlled. Seconds passed, then more. The humans did not interrupt. When she finally relaxed back onto both knees, Carixa looked up. I will not be remembered for kneeling, she said quietly. The officer met her gaze. No, he replied. You will be remembered for standing again. Carixa clenched her fists. Not in rage. In resolve. Earth had not defeated her. Earth had begun to change her. The first thing Carixa learned was this. Earth did not reward strength. It rewarded patience. Morning light spread across the training field. The air was cool, but heavy. Carixa stood at the edge of the ground, her armor removed for the first time since she had arrived. Without it, she felt exposed and lighter. The humans had suggested it, not ordered it. Armor adds weight, the officer had said. You should meet Earth without it. Carixa had almost refused. Warriors of the Velthor did not remove protection in front of strangers. But something in the human's calm tone stopped her. Now she understood why. Even without armor, Earth pressed down on her. Her feet sank slightly into the dirt. Her muscles stayed tense even when she stood still. Her body never fully rested. Humans moved around her with ease. They walked. They talked. They carried equipment on their backs like it was nothing. Carixa watched a human soldier jog past her, breathing steady. How long have you trained here? She asked him. He smiled. Since I was a kid. That answer shocked her. Children. On her world. Children floated in low gravity zones to protect their growing bones. Here, human children ran under full planetary weight. Carixa lowered herself carefully onto a bench. Her legs shook as she sat. The officer approached again. You look tired, he said. I am standing, Carixa replied. He nodded. That's how it starts. The humans did not push her. They did not shout commands. They simply demonstrated, one by one. They showed her simple movements. Standing, walking, lifting, nothing. Looked impressive. Everything looked exhausting. Carixa tried to copy them. She stood, her knees locked. She took one step. Her balance shifted. She fell forward and caught herself with her hands. The impact sending a sharp shock through her arms. Pain flashed. The humans moved closer, but stopped when she raised a hand. I will rise, she said. Slowly, she pushed herself back up. Her arms trembled. Her breath came fast. Sweat rolled down her skin. She stood again. That alone felt like a battle. The officer watched her closely. You're fighting the weight, he said. Carixa glared at him. It is crushing me. Yes, he replied. So stop pushing back. Let it settle. She did not understand, but she tried. She relaxed her shoulders. She bent her knees slightly. She slowed her breathing. The pressure did not disappear, but it became manageable. Carixa took another step, then another. Each one burned. But she did not fall. The humans nodded again. That simple approval mattered more than she expected. As the day went on, Carixa learned small truths. Humans fell often. Humans failed daily. Humans got up anyway. She watched a soldier drop a heavy weight, curse, laugh, and lift it again. No shame. Only effort. Carixa attempted to lift the same weight. It barely moved. Her muscles screamed as she tried again. The humans did not step in. They waited. Carixa released the weight and sat down hard, breathing heavily. "Your bodies are built for this," she said. The officer shook his head. "No, they're built by this." That sentence stayed with her. By the end of the day, Carixa could walk across the field without falling. Her steps were slow, her posture imperfect, but she remained standing. As the sun lowered, she stood alone for a moment, feeling earth press against every part of her. It still hurt. But the pain felt honest. Carixa clenched her hands and looked at the horizon. Her people believed power came from domination. Earth taught a different lesson: endure first, stand later. She was no longer laughing at this world. She was listening, and for the first time, she wondered how dangerous humans would become if they ever chose to leave it. Carixa no longer counted the days. On Earth, time felt different, not lighter, not easier, just heavier in a way that changed everything. She stood at the center of the training field, breathing slowly. The ground pressed against her boots. The air filled her lungs with effort. Sweat rolled down her back, and she stood. That alone would have been impossible before. The humans watched from a distance. They no longer stayed close, ready to catch her. She did not need them now. Carixa bent her knees slightly, adjusted her balance, and lifted a weight from the ground. It rose. Not fast, not smooth, but it rose. Her muscles burned as she held it for 3 long breaths before lowering it again. The weight hit the ground with a dull sound. Carixa laughed, not in mockery, in disbelief. Weeks ago, Earth had forced her to her knees. Now it allowed her to stand. She looked at her hands. They were rougher now, stronger. Her body felt dense, solid, anchored to the world beneath her. Earth had rewritten her. The human officer approached, hands behind his back. "You've adapted," he said. Carixa shook her head. "I am adapting." The difference mattered. Adaptation was ongoing, endless, just like gravity. She straightened and walked across the field without hesitation. Each step still carried weight, but it no longer felt like an enemy. It felt like resistance, and resistance could be trained. Carixa stopped in front of the officer. On her world, warriors showed respect by standing taller, by making others look small. Here, she did something else. She lowered her head. Just slightly. The humans noticed. They went still. The officer met her eyes. "That isn't required." Carixa's voice was calm. "It is earned." That moment changed everything. Word spread quickly among the humans. Not with excitement, but with quiet understanding. The alien warrior was no longer a visitor. She was a student. Training intensified. Carixa learned to run short distances. At first she lasted seconds, then minutes. Her breathing burned. Her legs felt like stone. She collapsed more than once. Each time she stood again, humans fell with her, trained beside her, shared the weight. No one claimed victory. They only shared effort. One evening, as the sun dipped low, Carixa stood at the edge of the field, watching human recruits struggle through drills. "They are young," she said. "Yes," the officer replied. "They will grow." Carixa nodded slowly. On her world, warriors were born strong or discarded. Here, strength was built over time. Built under pressure, built under gravity. Carixa took a deep breath and made a decision. "I wish to complete the trial," she said. The officer turned to her. "Which one?" "The true one," she answered. "Stand, walk, run, as one of you." The officer studied her for a long moment. Then he smiled. They returned her armor. When Carixa locked it into place, the weight nearly surprised her again. But this time, her body adjusted. Her stance widened. Her balance held. She walked forward. The ground accepted her. Humans stepped aside, giving her space, not out of fear, but respect. Carixa stopped, turned, and faced them. She placed one armored fist over her chest. A Velther salute, but this time, it was not for conquest. It was for acknowledgement. "Your world is not weak. she said. It is unforgiving. The officer nodded. That's why we're still here. Carixa looked toward the sky, where stars waited beyond Earth's pull. Her people believed power came from freedom. Earth taught power came from weight. She had not been broken. She had been reforged. And when she finally left this world, she would not leave as the warrior who laughed. She would leave as the warrior who endured. The message was short. That alone terrified the galaxy. Carixa stood inside the communication chamber, Earth's gravity still pressing down on her armor. A holographic field shimmered in front of her, waiting to carry her words across star systems. The humans did not tell her what to say. They did not ask for approval. They simply listened. Carixa activated the transmission. I am Carixa of the Velther Dominion, she began. Her voice was steady. I came to Earth to test humans. Her image spread outward, reaching commanders, warriors, and rulers who had never known defeat. I failed. Shock rippled through the Dominion. Carixa continued before anyone could interrupt. Earth's gravity forced me to my knees, not through weapons, not through traps, but through constant weight. Screens across distant worlds showed her standing tall under that same pressure. I trained here, she said. I suffered here. I changed here. Silence followed her words. Then she delivered the warning. Do not measure humans by their size. Do not measure them by their ships. Measure them by what they endure from birth. Carixa paused. When humans leave their world, she said slowly, they carry Earth with them. The phrase echoed through the stars. On Velther Prime, elders exchanged uneasy glances. Strategists adjusted their plans. War simulations began to fail. Carixa raised her armored hand. This world is not weak, she said. It is a forge. She ended the transmission. The room on Earth stayed quiet. The human officer looked at her. That message will change things. Carixa nodded. It already has. Across the galaxy, fleets hesitated. In training halls, commanders questioned old doctrines. Species born in light gravity suddenly felt fragile. Earth was no longer just a planet. It was a warning. Carixa stepped out of the chamber and onto the open ground. She felt the familiar weight press down. She welcomed it. Humans walked past her, carrying tools, laughing softly, living under pressure without complaint. She understood now. Earth did not make heroes quickly. It made survivors first. Carixa looked up at the sky one last time. The stars felt farther away than before, not because Earth held her down, but because Earth had taught her what true strength cost. Long after Carixa left Earth, the galaxy remembered one simple truth. Earth did not chase enemies. Enemies learned to avoid Earth. Carixa stood aboard her ship, watching the blue planet shrink in the viewing screen. Even from orbit, she could feel its pull. Like an echo in her bones. Earth had changed her forever. Her report had spread across the stars, not as a threat, as a warning written in experience. Worlds with light gravity began changing their training. Warriors wore heavier armor. Soldiers trained under artificial weight. It was never enough, because none of it was natural. Earth's strength was not built in chambers or machines. It was lived. Carixa turned away from the screen and faced her crew. Velther warriors stood, tall, proud as always. But they looked at her differently now. She was not just a warrior, she was a witness. What did Earth take from you? One asked. Carixa thought for a moment. My arrogance, she answered. And what did it give you? She placed a hand on her chest. Endurance. When her ship reached Velther space, the councils gathered. Leaders who had never bent before listened in silence as Carixa spoke. She did not boast. She did not threaten. She simply told the truth. Earth is not dangerous because of its weapons, she said. It is dangerous because it never stops pressing down. Some laughed. Most did not. Plans to challenge humans quietly vanished. Fleets changed course. Treaties were signed instead of war declarations. Earth became known by a new name. Among the stars, the heavy world humans never claimed. The title, they returned to their cities, their farms, their endless work under endless weight. They kept lifting, they kept building, they kept standing. Back on Earth, the training field remained unchanged. Wind moved through the grass, footprints faded. The ground waited. Carixa. Mark was still there, a deep impression where a proud warrior had fallen to her knees, and then stood again. Years later, young Velthor warriors would ask her about Earth. What is their greatest weapon? They would ask. Carixa always gave the same answer. They grow up under pressure, she said, and they do not complain. The galaxy learned to respect that. Because a world that breaks the proud is a world that forges the strong.